Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. I want to talk to you about a project that we did in the past. It was for a flower and garden show back in Seattle in 2012. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. So we just reached 100,000 subscribers, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of our 100K giveaway, which will be coming up soon. We're just fielding sponsors right now so we can get some really great giveaway prizes together for you guys to win. All right, with that being said, the person I want to talk about today was a big influence on me growing up. I like rock and roll music, I like heavy metal, I like the band Van Halen, and I decided to construct a deck for a flower and garden show once. A gentleman came to me and said, hey, I'm a landscaper, I'm not a deck builder. This is the footprint of what I have available. Are you interested in participating in my flower and garden show garden? And I was like, yeah, it sounds like fun. What's the theme of this particular year? And he said, well, it's a musical theme. People are using, different music and sounds of music and all this stuff. So there's blues and jazz and rock and all that. And I was like, okay, cool. So what I decided to do, he said he didn't care what I built as long as it met his footprint. So I was like, cool. Let's build a deck, and we're gonna take Eddie Van Halen's guitar, his most world famous guitar called the frankenstrat, and I'm gonna pull a pattern of that guitar off of the section of his guitar, and I'm gonna inlay it into the deck, which was very aggressive at the time. And this is back in 2011 is when I constructed this deck. And on top of that, I wanted to put some kind of an automation in a deck. I'd never done it before, and I wanted to take some actuators and take a deck box. AZEK at the time was making these in-deck boxes, so you could put this liner in the deck, and then there was a hinged lid that came up, and it would open up, and then you could get to your deck stuff. So what I decided to do was I took that deck, we made this crazy pattern, I figured out where the box was gonna go, and then we took that box and we filled it full of electronics. We took Xbox, Guitar Hero, a 32-inch plasma television, a Coleman cooler that was electric, a power stereo, receiver, amplifier, all that stuff, and we integrated it into this deck box. And I actually still own the deck box. I don't own the deck anymore, but I still have the deck box stored in my warehouse. And anyway, so we took this deck and we built it to the shape that we were supposed to. We put some deckboard bending in it, and then we also did this crazy pattern, got it built, and then we built the box and we put the actuators in it. We automated it, everything worked perfect. Even with the TV on the lid, the actuators were able to lift it, but I still had to put the inlay on top of the deck box to match the rest of the deck. Well, by the time I finished that, we were getting ready to transport this to the show, and we were doing a dry run through in my lab right here. And so we hit the button to automate this box, and it wouldn't lift, because by the time I added all the extra weight with the surface of the deck box, it was too much weight for the actuator. So we're freaking out because we're hours away from transporting this deck up to Seattle to this flower and garden show. So I kind of panic, and we had to rip the actuator out and actually put a heavier duty actuator in that would physically lift this box. The problem is we didn't have the same stroke of the actuator that we were using, so it became a problem of trying to fit everything, and it took us several hours to get that fit, but we got it loaded, we got it to the show, we got it set up, and then we ran it for 5 days at this flower and garden show. It's a different kind of audience at these shows. So the people that showed up, some of them knew exactly what I was after. There's 30 other gardens in this arena, including ours. And the landscapers did a wonderful job decorating around it with all the landscaping, a pond, water, flowers and plants and all that stuff. Stone bridges going over to the deck and all that. The contestants all were like, wow, man, that's pretty cool. The funny thing is, when we started showcasing this deck box, the news media got a hold of it, and this news show called King 5 Evening Magazine was a local television show that was covering the garden. The host, she really thought it was the coolest thing when she saw this deck box. So she put it on air. I didn't get on in that particular clip, but it was cool. At the end of the show, they kind of showed this thing with Eddie Van Halen themed deck and the garden box and all that. So we got a little bit of media out of it, so that made me really happy.
Hey, we've had such a great time here at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, but I do have to show off this deck by drdecks. The paint job is one of Eddie Van Halen's guitars, and watch this. Use my little remote control. Up pops an entire entertainment system, Xbox 360, no doubt, Guitar Hero, and a cooler. I gotta say, you'd be set for a party outside. I am so looking forward to spring.
When we started using it and playing it during the show, they ended up skirting the whole side of this box. Well, what we didn't realize was this deck became a huge subwoofer enclosure, and the bass was hitting so hard that everybody could hear it throughout the entire facility. So I was like, I wasn't there at the time. Somebody was playing some Guitar Hero. They had it turned up a little loud, and the show management came over and made us shut it down because everybody could hear the bump of the game. So unfortunately, we weren't able to let people play with the deck because it was making too much noise. That's okay, because it got a lot of publicity, it got a lot of love, and a lot of musicians really loved the fact that I was paying tribute to somebody who was one of my idols and is no longer with us, Mr. Eddie Van Halen. That is kind of an interesting story for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video or you learned a little something about deck automation, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Like this video, leave us a comment below. Let me know if you've ever seen that, or we'll give you a link in the description where you guys can go check it out for yourselves. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.